We are the family of God, striving to be where we are. People of more, ready to receive our King. Let's sing, oh, oh, yeah, for Christ our Lord. We are people of more, oh, yeah, oh, we are people of more. We will learn more, growing stronger than we did before. Somebody better help us love more. Oh, the Son of God we adore. We gotta do more. Yeah. We have victory in every war. He will teach more. Yeah. Saving souls and the lost restored. Let's sing, oh, yeah. For Christ our Lord. Tell them who we are. People of more. Say, oh, yeah, oh, we are people of more. Tell them we gonna learn more. We growing stronger than we did before. Somebody gonna help us love more. We will love the Son of God we adore. We will do more. Everything about life. We have victory in every war. We gotta teach the gospel of Christ. We will teach more. Saving souls and the lost restored. Say, oh, we are for Christ our Lord. Tell them who we are, people of more. Oh, yeah, we are people of we are people of more. Tell them who we are, people of sing love more. We are loving more, seven learning more. We are learning more, seven teaching more. We are teaching more, seven doing more. We are doing more. Everything is for Christ. We are people of tell them who we are, people of more. Avenue G, we are people of more. Let's sing, oh, we are for Christ our Lord. We are people of more. Say we are people of more.
Hey gang, it's time for Wednesday night Bible class again. This is the intermediate class. I'm Sister Terry Stevens. Hey Nadia, Aiden, Riel. Hopefully you've had a good summer so far. Mine has mostly been at work. We're ready to start our lesson for tonight. Today's lesson is about the birth of John. But first, we're going to do a little science experiment for you. We're going to use different objects, so I want you to look at all the objects closely so you can let me know next time which ones you think would be the heaviest. So I have a little tub of water right here, and we're going to use these different objects. This is one of them. It's kind of big. It's about the size of a softball. We have a candle. We have a piece of glass, a piece of decoration, a nut, an earring, and a very dull penny. We're going to use that for our experiment. And this little chess piece. This is made of wood. But I want you to let me know which one you believe is going to sink down to the bottom. Okay, we're going to try the first one. Okay, this is going to be the biggest one. Okay, see that? It kind of bounces on the water. Here's the candle. It kind of floats a little bit too. Here's that piece of glass, that decoration I was talking about. It kind of plopped down to the bottom. But you notice that was smaller than the other pieces. There's that nut. Okay. And here is the penny. Okay. So most of us, we would have thought the biggest objects are going to sink all the way down to the bottom. But those are the ones that float on the top because of what they're made of. This story is going to be about a man named and his wife Elizabeth. He was kind of unbelieving before. Him and his wife were very faithful. They went to worship at the temple every time the doors were open. And what the men did, the priests, they would do a rotation. They would do something like drawing straws to see who would go in and actually go and speak to God for the people. This is my little symbol for Zechariah. There's his wife Elizabeth. Okay. So Zechariah went inside the temple, and he was going in there to do the worship service for the people. And along came an angel. Zechariah had never seen an angel before, so it kind of startled him. Okay, so what he did, just kind of stood there in awe. But he met the angel and he talked to him. And the angel's name was Gabriel. You have to remember these names also. So when you tell me about those objects that you thought were going to float or sink down to the bottom, I want you to give me those names when you see me. Okay? So that's Zechariah, Elizabeth, and the angel's name is what? Correct. His name is Gabriel. Okay. So we're going to start out with, the story is going to come from Luke chapter 1. And we're going to start out with verse 5 through 9. In the time of Herod, king of Judea, there was a great priest named Zechariah, who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah, and whose wife Elizabeth was a daughter of Aaron. Both of them were righteous in the sight of God, walking blamelessly all the commandments and decrees of the Lord. But they had no children, because Elizabeth was barren. That means that she wasn't able to have any children. She was a little older than most of the women. They were both well along in years. One day, while Zechariah's division was on duty, and he was serving as priest before God, he was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to enter the temple of the Lord and burn incense. Okay. So if you were back in those days, the men, the priests, they're the ones that would be able to conduct the service and the worship for all the people. So that means that us as Christians, the men need to be ready to serve and be ready to represent God. But the women would also be the teachers. So further on in this story, we're going to go through verse 11 through 13. Just then, an angel of the Lord appeared to Zechariah, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. Zechariah saw him. He was startled and gripped with fear. Okay, remember that picture? But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah, because your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son. You are to give him the name John." And another thing that the people did back then, if there was a son born in the family, he was always named after the father. So that means that they would be able to know the different representatives of that family, and they would know who your father was or who your people were. Okay. Verse 18 through 20 says, "How can I be sure of this?" Zechariah asked the angel. "I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years." The angel said, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and bring you this good news. And now you will be silent and unable to speak until the day this comes to pass, because you did not believe my words, which will be fulfilled at their proper time. So at that time, Zechariah was unbelieving of the message that God had sent to him. And if we were to see an angel or someone who said they were an angel that came and told us a message from God, do you think we would be able to believe that? Or would we think that that person was lying? So in order for God to prove that to them, Zechariah had to keep silent, and he wasn't able to speak. So until Elizabeth gave birth to John, that's when he was able to speak and go and tell that good news that had happened to them. How the angel had came and gave them that message that God was going to bless them. So when we talked about whether something is too good to be true, have you ever had that experience where your mom or dad brought you something just because you're their child? Or you didn't have to clean up for a whole week? Or maybe you went to school and you didn't have homework the whole semester. Wouldn't that be good? Zechariah, he was unbelieving until God showed him. And God shows us every day in the blessings that he provides for us. And the memory verse for this lesson is Colossians 1, verse 10. It's the ESV version. So as to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God. So that means that when we spread the word of God, that we're going to have to study and know what we're talking about because of who we're representing, God. So the lesson that we need to get out of this, God's promises are too good, but they are true. Next time we'll be studying about the birth of Jesus. So keep an eye on the things that you do and the things that you say in the future. And we're going to be studying a little bit further in Luke. Have a good evening.
We are the family of God, striving to be where we are. People of more, ready to receive our King. Let's sing, oh, oh, yeah, for Christ our Lord. We are people of more, oh, yeah, oh, we are people of more. We will learn more, growing stronger than we did before. Somebody better help us love more. Oh, the Son of God we adore. We gotta do more. Yeah. We have victory in every war. We will teach more. Yeah. Saving souls and the lost restored. Let's sing, oh, yeah. For Christ our Lord. Tell them who we are. People love more. Say, oh, yeah. Oh, we are people love more. Tell them we gonna learn more. Growing stronger than we did before. Somebody gonna help us love more. We will love the Son of God we adore. We will do more. Every day of our lives. We have victory in every war. We gotta teach the gospel of Christ. We will teach more. Saving souls and the lost restored. Say oh, we are for Christ our Lord. Tell them who we are. People of more. Yeah, we are people of more. We are people of more. Tell them who we are. People of more. We are people of more. Seven learning more. We are learning more. Seven teaching more. you more. Every doing more, we are doing more. Everything is for Christ, we are.